Get into the fun here. Let's see what you guys have on the platter for today. Got this big girl here, the MISC STARLANCER TAC, which, you know, from what I'm seeing on the stats, I think this is going to be a lot better than most people thought it was going to be, although a very large target. But I looked at some of the stats. He had size 5, I believe, gun mounts. You also have the ability to have a med bed in this, I believe, and also you have more cargo. This might nerf the Deemer, even though the Deemer's already kind of nerfed. And I can imagine this is probably going to get nerfed somehow too. But let's look at the behind the ships on the MISC STARLANCER TAC.
The STARLANCER TAC is a variant of the STARLANCER series. It kind of takes the STARLANCER chassis and outfits it with a more offensive loadout. It's got remote turrets on top. The co-pilot's got some fun little missile turrets at the rear to keep people off the back end.
That's a true dev right there. That is a true dev doing good work. Let's hear it for this guy. This is what I want my devs to look like. This is what I want all my devs to look like. I
know. Fun little missile turrets at the rear to keep people off the back end. You don't have access to every single gun on it. There's only 4 pilot-controlled guns. You'll notice immediately from the exterior that it has these new 2 twin size 5 man turrets.
What makes this MISC is the shape language that was used to make this turret. It replicates the exterior of the ship, which contains round forms, welded forms, and chunky shapes.
Damn.
MISC as a manufacturer, kind of really proud of their manufacturing, and they're not afraid to show it. You kind of see all the compound forms that reveal the underlying structure, where the fuel cells are, but it's a little more refined. Paneling is a lot cleaner. It's not something like a Drake ship where everything is just completely exposed. I really like the MISC look. It's got this sort of dark...
I mean, I gotta give this ship a lot more credit than I gave it to begin with, but I will say this is going to be a huge target, and I hope it can take some damage. I hope it can take the damage.
Stealth armor, so it looks really like sleek. The guys have done a really great job with the lighting on it. It's got this really mean looking red lighting. It just looks really sick. It does not have a cargo lift, but it still has your cargo bay in the back for 96 SCU and space for holding ground vehicles. And you also have the addition of a hangar up top. There were a lot of requests for a version that could carry a ship, so I'm glad we've managed to figure that out.
It can accommodate 1 Fury, but if you are a good pilot, you can accommodate 2 as well.
What we've done is we've stripped out the Max's separate habitation rooms and replaced those with the hangar.
It's not that much big, but it's compact. It has a landing pad there with really cool, small refueling parts.
We've extended the Max's habitation kitchen area to have its own bunk room.
I love the soundtrack.
On the lower deck, we've replaced the long cargo bridge sort of area with a troop deployment area where some soldiers could...
It's actually what I'm hoping that they do. Stunner says until armor is in the game, it will probably be squishier than it should be unless they give it extra fake hit points in the meantime. And I kind of hope that they do that to make the game a little bit more playable and the ship a little bit more viable. So good commentary there, Stunner.
Can jump out of like an extended...
This I mean, like... This is impressive to me.
Gantry. And between that and the cargo bay is a small medical room.
I'm not a big MISC fan.
No other MISC ships has a medical bay, so it was a bit hard at the first to get used to it, like how the design will be. What I feel the people will notice most will be the aesthetic of it. These bright lights and those metal floors. It's a bit high-tech, but it's not like very high maintenance.
The MISC feels, man.
The engineering and the cockpit are the same as the Max.
And in the cockpit, it's very spacious. It's accommodate pilot, co-pilot.
Awesome.
It looks really cool because it's integrated with the bridge.
The turret room is located in the belly of the ship. At first glance, it resembles a shrine to warfare, with all the red lights around and the ammunition and the turret seats on the left and the right. It looks really cool. The animations are really cool, from the hatch closing over the player to the seat rotating and going into the turret.
Wow.
And the guns
Cool
sliding
animation.
out in preparation for battle.
The STARLancer would be for like teams of players who really like missions in a large group of like soldiers.
Yeah. I can
As well as like the actual people crewing the ship and the turrets, you've got quite a lot of space for ground pounders with rifles. The cargo bay in the back can be used for like some of the smaller vehicles like the Cyclone. I think it's a really good ship for like just team play.
More of this. Yeah, more of this. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Invictus is going to be a blast. I'm going to try and pop in and be there, maybe report on it a little bit. Let's see what Space Tomato thinks of this. STARLANCER TAC checks every box. Let's check out what Space Tomato's saying. Dude, Coob, you are absolutely right. I can't tell you how right you are by that, Coob. You need your button pushed, bro. That's exactly what I was thinking the whole time I was watching that. Coob. Coob is saying no ship has ever screamed incoming nerf harder than this one.
All right, folks. Welcome back. We got another week ahead of us. And the content coming out of CIG for Star Citizen is weird lately. It's not really all that.
They're not focusing so much on the content. Are you guys noticing that? That is something that kind of upsets me a little bit. I don't know if I'm spoiled and I just am used to like the amount of content that they're bringing out, and now that we're not seeing as much, that I'm just being a baby about all of this, or if in fact like it feels to me like a regression. What do you all feel? Like with the lack of the content lately, do you feel like it's because of like some type of pullback within Cloud Imperium socially from the fan base, or do you think it's more like do you think that it's a financial thing, like a business issue? I'm not quite sure, but the content has been a little lackluster. Like that last video was only, I mean, that was literally 4 minutes, you know. They did say that. Madstall said, did they not say last year that the content coming like usual this year to concentrate on quality of life improvements? I just want, I want to see a little bit more quality of life improvements. I want to see a little bit more stability. My game experiences have been fraught with bugs, but on the other hand, I'm playing it and I'm not dropping out a lot. The longer I'm in a ship, though, the buggier the experiences get. There's still things that I think they could work on for quality of life, but I want to see the focus on the content when they do come out with the content, Mad Style, on this Switch, right? I mean, that's kind of what I feel like. And it might not hit so good with a lot of Star Citizen fans that they're pulling back on the content, even though they said that, because now we're dealing with the result of what happens when they start to pull back that content. Interesting to think about.
Congruent or dedicated or like it's pretty scattered. And I've got a lot to say about that. I've put some of it in a video, but this is not the video for that. Today we're going to look at the newest.
I agree with Stunner. I think, and I said this as well, Stunner, that there will be a big focus on Squadron 42. I think it's all hands on deck for Squadron 42 and getting it out. And I would love to see it by the second quarter of 2026, before the last half of 2026. I kind of want to see it up at the front, but I don't know. We'll see if all this lack of content maybe gives the devs more time, or maybe some of the employees more time to actually push on Squadron 42. I don't know. It depends upon how they're organizing the teams, but I'm hoping that it's having a positive effect on the development for quality of life and PU and stability and server tech issues. I also hope that it's actually speeding up Squadron 42 development so we get a finished product. These are the two things that I'm hoping from the lack of the content that they have planned to substitute this extra amount of time that they have to push towards development.
from Star Citizen. This is their weekly update, this time being behind the ships. I say weekly update, but they are not coming weekly anymore.
I agree, Matt.
Let's take a look at the next relatively large ship coming to Star Citizen. I've actually got a video coming out about this on the main channel. If you're watching this a few days after this, it might already be out. This might be one of the best solo capable quest running ships in the game. I'm excited to see what they say here, but I've already got a lot to say about it, so we'll get started.
Yeah, we saw this. Let's get past all this here. Let's get to stuff.
To Squadron 42, but they've never had this really nice. This is wait, MISC. I'm immediately getting like Alien Universe from this, with a little bit of like, I would say a little Mass Effect too. I really like the design of this room. Not just the design, but like just the little visual cues. I love the light bar across the top.
I wouldn't go too far on this. I mean, it's a little bit more, it's MISC. It's, you know, it's a MISC vibe. I wouldn't say it's as exciting as duct tape with Drake. Wouldn't say it has the duct tape flair of Drake.
Love the shape language on the door, canisters on the corner there. The freaking medical bed area looks really nice. This is a beautiful room. I bet the concept art for this looks great. I'm also noticing they're showing a lot of new faces in this video. They are kind of giving us a little bit of more looks over the last couple of months of how much the ship team has really expanded. They've been releasing just about once a month, every month, since late last year. I can say this is the kind of ship I would expect to come to the game. There are other ships that I expect to come. I think they need to slow down on the ground vehicles, but the amount of ships isn't really the problem. It's more so the why. I think the why is mainly just keeping people involved and also spending money to lead up to Squadron 42. But they've never had this kind of caliber before. When they used to release ships like this, which was around 2018 to 2021-ish time, half of them were concepts. Now so many of them are just coming straight into the game. They've changed a lot on the ship team side of things. Remember, this is only like 50 out of 1,000 something people, so it's not actually that big a part of the company, but
think of that. God, what a mistake that is. I've talked about this before. I think they should expand their ship design team. Their ship team needs to be so much bigger with 1,000 employees, which, by the way, it's not 1,000 employees anymore. They've reduced the size of their staff, but they need to at least have 100 people involved with ships. This is the pipeline for their money. This is where the revenue's coming in, and it'll only have 50 people involved in the ship design team. It's kind of ridiculous, really. With the amount of employees that they have and the fact that this is 80% of their revenue, why do they not have more people in the ship development teams? We got a poll that's been brought out here. Are you excited for the MISC TAC? It's live right now. Go ahead and vote. Just very curious. Right here, you guys can see this. Everybody's voting right now, but the TAC. So far, so good. Oh, it's tied right now. Oh, we'll see what the results are soon. Good way to put up the poll.
Like how the design will be. What I feel the people will notice most will be the aesthetic of it. These bright lights and those metal floors.
Yeah.
It's a bit high tech, but it's not like very high maintenance.
The engineer.
It has such a great grounded, but like high sci-fi. I don't want to call it high sci-fi. I don't think it's high sci-fi. The Alien Universe is not high sci-fi, but I'm thinking of like a lot of Mass Effect feelings when I see this kind of stuff. Don't know why.
Hearing in the cockpit are the same as the Max.
And in the cockpit, it's very spacious. It's accommodate pilot, co-pilot. It looks really cool because it's...
Well, MISC stands for Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern, I believe. And it's always been a blend of Xi'an elements with human. It's a human Xi'an kind of design. So, yeah, you will see like slight alien elements in some of the MISC ships. But frankly, I've always seen MISC as like on the terms of like looks and feels like on a lower level, but this TAC really elevates, I think, MISC. I really like the TAC. I personally love the design of the ship.
integrated VCS.
There's that one drawback.
It's pilot.
Every ship needs to have its pros and its cons, right? We've got that list we've been going down for the pros. There's your con, the view, and it's not a Deceptor.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this. The poll is now ended. Wow, look at everybody voting here. Wow, look at you guys. Are you excited for the MISC TAC? 73% said no. Ooh, damn. Cloud Imperium. Uh-oh. What's John Crew going to say? John Crew's not on right now. Is he watching right now? I don't need his ginger madness on me. John, step back. That's why my community says they're not excited, so step back, John.
You know, con. Sorry.
Copilot.
Oh, Jesus. Did he actually do the same? Is he incorporating soundboard? He's going DG360 on that. That wasn't me. That was Tomato, man. Space Tomato is my brother from another mother, man. Look, black man with white headphones, white man with black headphones. It's a podcast waiting to happen. It's a podcast waiting to happen.
It looks really cool because it's integrated with the bridge.
The turret room is located in the belly of the ship.
Same mic.
At first glance, it resembles a shrine to
Same
warfare,
sexy voice.
with all the red lights around the ammunition, and the turret seats on the left and the right. It looks really
Wait,
cool.
what is that?
The ammunition.
What is this supposed to be? Ammunition?
I'm renaming myself to Space Potato just to get a reaction from Space Tomato, man. That is fucking hilarious, Cube.
Aren't they laser guns? I thought they were. Oh,
got
maybe
the
they're
Xi'an
ballistics.
vibes.
The turret seats on the left and the right. It looks really cool. The animations.
So
are
is
really
that-
cool.
Yeah, is this the actual anime? If this fires, wait.
From the hatch
It would
closing
work.
over the
It would
player
work, Hugh.
to the seat rotating and going into the turret.
Cube's on it, man.
And the cons sliding
Damn.
out.
I gotta say, the animations on that turret going into that, they're fucking awesome. That is pretty damn cool.
In preparation for
That's total Voltron. Like sliding down like that, like chair coming down. That's total Voltron, man.
battle.
Or Gundam.
Oh yeah, they're cannons.
The Starlancer would be for like teams
I feel like the ammunition doesn't actually disappear. They would have showed us that.
of players who really like missions in a large group of like soldiers. As well as like the actual people crewing the ship and the turrets, you've got quite a lot of space for
Oh, they love this shot.
ground pounders with rifles. The cargo bay in the back can be used for like some of the small
Hey, it's
vehicles, like
GII.
Cyclone
Hashtag join GII. Literally, that's our helmet.
with rifles. The cargo bay in the back
It's like a half the helmet of the people in the game, but show
can
what?
be used for like some of the smaller vehicles like the Cyclone. I think it's a really good ship for like just team play.
All right. So, it looks like the #1 ship straight from release for running group quests
What's the price tag on this guy again?
in this game. I don't think that's really
think it's good-
ships
a good
getting
ship
more
for
and
a
more
squad,
powerful. I
right?
think this is very unique for this ship. Like, I think that they will have
I personally have a bad feeling that this is going to be a huge target that will end up being very squishy, where you won't even get a chance to use your size 5s. But we should see. Yeah. I think be careful. Buyer beware. It does look cool. It's got the coolness effect. Yeah, I think you're fairly well safe having like PvE events with it. You know, a squad up and do a couple PvE type base missions. PvP, you better be careful. You know, you might be one giant big love sponge. You know.
have other large ships. I wouldn't even say something like the
yeah, right, Coob, right.
Man, I mean, the Galaxy would be a good competitor to this, actually. But
I love
this is
the
unique.
design.
I think the
I
biggest
like
thing
the
that
look of
is
it.
making this ship unique is the
aesthetics
hangar
are awesome.
and the medical beds.
And people will.
Besides
people will,
that,
Retro.
cargo,
They always
vehicle
do.
space, habitation, defense, you can get that in a lot of other places. But even then, this ship is very defendable. It's got ground combat capabilities. It's got ship combat.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with Tomato's take on that, just because it's such a large target. I mean, you don't even have to try to aim, and you're going to hit this thing. It takes up so much space. You know, you could literally just fire your ship like this, and you probably hit it. So you got to be careful. You know.
combat capabilities.
Yeah.
It's got cargo hauling capabilities, looting capabilities. They're gonna have to have something that makes this ship harder to maintain. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's slow. Maybe the shields aren't as powerful. They didn't even talk really about the components today, but I think it's got 1 size 3 shield. So I don't know. Let's see what the cons are though. This will be out in about a week or 2 weeks. We'll be testing this on the channel, putting it through its paces, getting GII in there and seeing what kind of missions we can run. But the number one thing CIG needs to do when they release this ship is, oh my gosh, give us more missions to use it with. How many missions?
You know, and they're not. They're scaling back because they had to bring in THUR. They had to bring in the mining platform laser. That particular mission. They took away all the old dysfunctional missions that I said were a waste of resources because of all the communication errors that were happening on the missions that were in your mobiGlas. Over 80% of them didn't work. They took them out. They ripped it out and they said, okay, let's place THUR in here. Let's do this. Let's have a big event. And they'll continue to do this. It's going to continually be a musical chairs kind of thing where the servers can only hold so much object containers, and they're going to pull things out and they're going to put things back in to accommodate what the servers can actually accommodate, so that your gameplay is somewhat stable. And that's what they're going to do for a long time. So missions are going to be a little lackluster. I doubt they're going to sprinkle in more missions. If they do, great. Maybe they'll do it to push back and see how much more load it can take before it goes even more bonkers, right? But the server tech needs to improve before more missions get in. The TAC, Hugh is saying, is around $300. Could be very well worth it if you can play with other friends. I think that's worth it. You know, the fact that you can bring in people and have a good time, I think it's fairly safe for like PvE excursions, right? PvP areas, I don't think so. It should be interesting to see. It'll be slow. That I can guarantee you. MISC ships are definitely slow. But the amount of area that it takes up, you guys just be really careful. If you're expecting this to be anywhere involved in tanking anything, be careful because they might not put the hit point buff on it that I think a lot of us would like. If they tank it up and they add fake hit points to it, God bless them. I think they should. The size 3 shield is nice. Should be able to take some damage. The thing is, it's just so damn big that you're going to have to be careful. So that to me is the biggest drawback. I'm sure you can figure out some type of game loops, player-driven game loops for this ship with your squad would be cool. But yeah, that's my take on it. I don't necessarily agree with Tomato there, but I like hearing his opinion on it.